Around 3 to 4 years ago, my freshman year, I asked my crush, what was something about me that was so unattractive that you didn't like me anymore? So I confessed to my crush, and he told me that he used to like me, but then he lost feelings for me. So I was like, okay, what was the reason why? And he said, it's because you're too desperate. And even though at the time I didn't feel like I was desperate, the question I asked was pretty desperate. But I asked him to elaborate, and he said it was because I cared too much. 4 years later, I graduated high school, and I still don't have a boyfriend, never dated, and every time I have a crush on someone or so, they would go like, "Why do you care so much? Why are you texting me?" I'm not a clingy type of person. Like, I don't text someone every single day of my life. And I don't text someone every 5 minutes. I text whatever I feel like it, which is like maybe like every other day or so. And I look back and sometimes I'm like, damn, why do I care so much? But then I had a sudden realization that if that was like the bad thing about me, then like I have nothing to worry about. Like I shouldn't change it because if I just care, then like shouldn't you care in relationships? That's what I'm thinking, right? Like I know there's like a lot of red flags out there. Like I know like sometimes when people say that, they usually have like a bunch of red flags. But for me, like I don't know, I'm not like a perfect person. I wouldn't say I'm like the best person on earth. I wouldn't say I'm a good person because like truly no one is a good person. Like we all have good and bad in us. But I'm actively working on my issues and so. And I remember I saw this one video from this YouTuber. I forgot his name, but I remember he said that he never had a girlfriend throughout high school because it would like derail him from his like plans and his like what he wants to do and his goals and so. And I realized that I think that was kind of like me all throughout high school because I cared about a lot of things. I cared about people, but I also cared about my own goals. I really wanted to attend a top 4 year university and also pursue my interests. Like, I did some research throughout high school, I pursued some internships throughout high school, I pursued some projects in high school. And I realized that if I had a boyfriend and I listened to them saying, like, oh, you need to care less, then, like, I would have cared less about pursuing those interests. I would have cared so much less about pursuing my interests, my goals, and so. And I wonder how differently my life would have been because sometimes I know people and sometimes even me associate like getting in a relationship as like this super positive good thing. Like let's say like someone doesn't like you back and you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna prove them by getting in a relationship to show them that I am not lonely and desperate." But then like maybe getting in a relationship isn't all that because sometimes they can really like hold you back. Like I know a lot of parents out there and a lot of adults out there say don't date when you're young because they can really influence like a lot about you and your goals and that can really change your life. And now being 18, turning 19 in a couple of months, I really agree with that because at the end of the day, I look back and I wonder like, okay, I'm not going to a 4 year university anymore because of personal reasons, but I ended up getting into a prestigious top university, UC Berkeley, and I wonder if I had a boyfriend or if I chose to date someone that was like, don't care about things, then would I have ever gotten into those type of universities? I know there's people out there with boyfriends or girlfriends who also get into top universities and achieve a lot, but I feel like that's such a rare scenario, and I don't know, cause like I didn't grow up with the best like role models for relationships growing up because my parents are divorced and like yeah, my parents are divorced. I grew up with a single mom, so there wasn't much for me to go based off on. And plus, like I'm a first generation American. Like I, my parents had very different like societal rules on like relationships and so than in America. So I didn't really know much about like relationships and all that. So chances were I probably wasn't going to end up in a good relationship. And so like, I just look back and I wonder, maybe the best thing that happened to me was not getting in a relationship. And so, like, sometimes I feel sad. I'm like, damn, I'm so lonely. I wish I had a partner. I wish I had more friends. But then I realized, if I did, then what type of influence would they be on me? Because for a while, I was in a pretty, like, friend group. Like, they would tell me that I was, like, an NPC, that I had no thoughts of my own, even though none of that was true. Like, I'm literally talking right here and having my own opinions. And they would use me for, like, rides and homework and stuff. And I look back and I wonder, if I stayed in that friend group, because I was only in that friend group for like a really short time, but if I just like constantly worried about like staying with people, or like caring about like what other people thought about me, or just listen to those type of advices like, oh, stop caring so much and stuff like that, then I wouldn't be where I am today. Because I wouldn't say I'm the most successful person on earth, but I would say that like in a pretty good position, because I'm speaking freely about this right now, and I'm confident enough not to be afraid to speak about this. And also, I can say that I have really supportive friends. Like, even though I don't have like a bajillion friends out there, I would say that if I ever feel sad, I have at least like 3 people I can talk to. So yeah. But to anyone out there who's ever been told that they care too much, or that they seem so like in their head or too desperate or so, I would say, like, are those really bad traits? Like, let's be honest. Like, I mean, like, don't waste your time on people that like don't spend your time on you. Like, if a guy says that to you, then just drop them, because who are you to tell me that I care too much? But like, but if you're like a teen out there who's been told that, I say, like, just go on your own path. It doesn't matter. Just keep going. Those are not bad qualities, because there's people out there with actual bad qualities. Like, they're abusive, they do like criminal acts, and so, and if the worst thing about you is that you're too desperate or you care too much, then that's not that bad. And I say, keep going with your own goals. Don't focus on people who say that. If they say that you're too much, leave them. Leave them where they're at. If they say you're too much, then you're too much for them. But that doesn't mean you're too much for yourself or for your own goals. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. That was a whole 7-minute ramble. But yeah, no, 7 minutes and 45 seconds now. Now it's gonna be 8 minutes. Yeah.